You guys might know me as sweeter than grandma's cookies, delicious as a cake frosting. You probably see me as the twinkle in your eyes. Wrong. There was a time in my life where I was loco, where I had the dark side. And today, I'm gonna tell you guys a story about how I literally probably went crazy and ruined this kid's life. About 4 years ago, it was freshman year. Freshman year, yo, I don't know what it was. I was literally insane. Insane, like, not like insane, like insane where I was, like, strategically about to get you. So, freshman year, okay, I had this really good friend. We're gonna call her Jasmine, okay? Me and Jasmine were basically like sisters. Like, that was my sister. And Jasmine ended up liking this guy. We're gonna call him Aiden, okay? He was a sophomore and we were freshmen. There was already a lot of rumors going around saying that Aiden was a player, like, he's just not the one, like, you know, all that. But my friend Jasmine, she was blind in love. So she was like, okay, like, that's okay, you know, that's okay. And me, I support women's right and wrong. So I was kind of warning her, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let you take the lead. Take it. So my friend Jasmine and Aiden, they start dating, okay? They're dating for about a good, 3 months, okay? One night, my friend Jasmine texts me, okay? She's like, I check my phone. I'm like, who the frick is blowing on my phone at 1 a.m.? It's Jasmine. She's like, Priya, like, Aiden's location's off. Like, he's been out. Like, I don't know where he is. Like, I just have this gut feeling. Ladies, let me tell you something, okay? If you ever have a gut feeling, 99% of the time, it is right. She's like, I feel like he's, like, doing something. I feel like he's cheating on me, like, da-da-da. And I instantly go, I'm like, this is my time to shine. So I'm texting, I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I got this. I got this. So what I end up doing is I literally end up taking 3 different Instagram stories. I'm putting it all together like puzzle pieces, okay? I take 3 Instagram stories. I take 5 Snapchat stories. I text about 40 people. I am going insane. I literally have 4 devices pulled up next to me. And I'm like I'm going insane. Cause you're not about to play. You're not about to play in my girl's face like that. That is my sister. You play in her face, you're going down. So I'm on 3 different devices. I'm like, we can't really get to the bottom of this. So after about 10 minutes of literally going insane, I pinpoint the exact location where Aiden is. I literally have his exact coordinates. I know exactly what room he's in. Like, I know everything. I had about 40 people telling me, updating me on his every single move. I have eyes and ears everywhere. To this day, I still do. But literally, there were 40 people. I knew every step he was taking. I knew wherever I knew everything. So after I'm gathering all this information, I'm typing it to Jasmine. I'm like, girl, he's literally at a party. And obviously, my girl Jasmine's tweaking. She's like, oh. She's like, nah. And I'm like, baby, chill. Chill, because I'm here. So my crazy mind, I'm like, I have the genius idea ever. You play on my girl's face, I'm going to literally ruin your life, okay? Turns out Aiden was at this party that he was not supposed to be at, okay? His parents didn't know. No one knew. His parents just thought he was hanging out at his friend's house, like sleepover basically, okay? So he was at this party and he was literally hooking up with his ex. Playing in my girl's face like that. So obviously I had to kill him. So this girl texts me, okay? She's at the party. She's like, oh my God, Aiden just took his ex upstairs to a room. And instantly, I'm like fuming. I'm like, why would he do that? So I'm like, listen, here's what's gonna happen, okay? I'm texting 4 different people the plan. The plan is we're gonna make it seem like Aiden is gay. And let me tell you something, the worst thing you could ever do to a man with a high ego that's already popular is make him, people think he's gay. That is the end of him. No way, shape, or form am I, discriminating against all my gay people, okay? I literally love the gays, but it had to be done. So, I text this one guy. He was already gay, and I text him, and I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor? Da-da-da, and I tell him how he's playing in my girl's face, and we need to basically, spread rumors. So, the guy's down. He texts me, and he goes, oh my God, girl, I would literally love to help you. Let me know what I need to do. So, basically, I make it seem... okay, chill, okay? I'm not very proud. But I made it seem like Aiden was in the room with two guys. So after I plan everything out, okay, I go to sleep. I wake up the next day. What a beautiful morning. I go to school. As soon as I enter school, it is the talk of the town, yo. There are released pictures on Snapchat of Aiden of Aiden shirtless on the bed, and next to him are 2 guys also shirtless. So now the whole school thinks he's gay. He's going crazy. The school is going crazy. Everyone's going crazy. And Jasmine comes up and she's like, oh my God, like, did you hear what happened? Like, I didn't even know he was gay. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, baby, he was never gay. To this day, people still think Aiden is gay. And literally, like, he lost all his popularity, 0 fame, 0 everything. Because you're not, like, don't ever play in my sister's face like that ever in your life. Also, did I mention that I called the cops on the party? I called the cops on the party. I did, like, a noise complaint. And I also called Aiden's parents. I was like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, let me tell you something. Do you know where your son Aiden is at right now? Isn't he at, like, a friend's house? Wrong, bitch. He's getting cracked by 2 guys right now as we speak.
Story time of when my best friend of 8 years flew to visit me and left after one day and blocked me. This story is wild, but we're gonna have to back up a little bit. So me and this girl were virtual friends for the past 8 years. We FaceTimed almost every day, talked about everything, our secrets, our life, literally everything. We had never met in person. I know, crazy. Then she started talking to a guy from my city, and she had been talking to him for a month or so. And then she was like, you know what, I'm gonna come visit you because I've been dying to meet you and I could meet him at the same time. So it'd be, you know, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I was super excited because we had tried to meet up multiple times before and it just never panned out. So I was excited to see her and be able to, you know, finally meet in person. Told her that she had to come stay with me, that there was no way she was staying in a hotel. She had to stay with me. And she made it clear, she's like, I'm coming for you, not for him, but like, you know, I'm gonna obviously spend some time with him, but I really mainly want to come for you. And I said, girl, don't worry about it, we can share you, no problem. A few days before she came, I went through something super difficult in my personal life, and I was at a very bad place, and I was talking to her about it because she's my friend. She asked me, she's like, do you want me to stay in a hotel if too much is going on? And I was like, no way. Like, especially in our culture, we're both Arab, it's super disrespectful if somebody comes to your city and stays in a hotel. They have to stay with you. And I saw her as like a close friend. I wanted her to be around, and like, my house is her house. She's like a close friend to me. She also had mentioned prior that she checked the hotel prices and they were so expensive. So obviously I was never gonna let her stay at a hotel. So a day or 2 later she came, and I couldn't pick her up from the airport because I had a mandatory lab that I had to go to, but the guy she was talking to picked her up. So I told her that I could meet her right after class, but she said she wanted to spend the day with the guy and that she would meet up with me later. So she came, met up with me later in the evening around like 8:30, 9 p.m. and she'd been here all day, which is fine. I wanted her to spend time with the guy, see if they hit it off. We went for dinner, and by that point I was getting really exhausted because I'd been up since 6 a.m. at school, so I was so tired. So we went home, we kind of got into our PJs, and just like, I was tired, so I just got in bed right away, to be honest. It was like, I could tell like you're really like in a bad place and like you're not as bubbly as usual. And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, like everything I went through was super hard and I'm just struggling with it a bit. And she's like, yeah, like I hate to see you like this, like you're just so down. And I was trying my best to be as bubbly as I could for her. Like I was trying my best, but like, you know, as my friend of 8 years, like she should be understanding of the fact that like, you know, shit happens. Anyway, so the next morning we got up. She's like, what do you want to do today? I'm like, let's go get breakfast, then we can go to the mall, and then we can play the rest of the day by ear, because I know she had dinner with her man later that day. So we go for breakfast, and then we're in the car, we're about to go to the mall, and she tells me, you know what, I think I'm gonna actually book a hotel and leave. Go to part 2.
Put a finger down if when you were 18 years old, you started getting this really weird sensation in your butthole, like something was in it. You described to your mom that maybe there was a golf ball in your butt, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. She laughed it off and said it's probably nothing. And then a week later, you went to the bathroom and saw blood. So much blood in the toilet bowl. You knew you weren't on your period. You knew that it was coming from the back end, so you called your family doctor. Mind you, this is in the middle of COVID times. Called your family doctor and said, doctor, I need to see you stat because I'm bleeding profusely through my butt and there's also a lot of pain. Your doctor said, haha, you're probably on the toilet for too much time on your phone. Get off your phone, stop being a teenager, and also it's probably just hemorrhoids, prescribes you hemorrhoid cream, and you go on with your life. Weeks later pass and you're just getting weaker and you can't eat anymore, and your stomach is a mess, and you're bleeding constantly, and your butthole pain is so bad that you can't even walk around the block. So you go to the ER, and the ER looks at you and says, yeah, it's hemorrhoids. I can see them here. Let me just shove them back up inside and send you on your way home. So you say, okay, hemorrhoids are back in place. Family, I'm good to go. Come pick me up. You go on your handy dandy way. That ER doctor, however, did send you for a colonoscopy just in case to check things out. And your mom, being the lovely mother that she is advocating for you and constantly calling the colonoscopy clinic because there's definitely something wrong with you. So she's like, can you please try and fit my daughter in for a cancellation if possible? And the colonoscopy clinic happens to have a cancellation for that Monday. So they say, do the prep, come in. And you do the prep and you literally almost die while doing the prep because you are so sick to the point that you are literally passing out, have to call an ambulance. The ambulance comes, notices that you have a really high fever, notices that you're also quite faint, so they take you to the hospital. The hospital does blood work, notices that you have an elevated white count, but says it's probably just nothing. Come back tomorrow morning for your scope. And there you are in the waiting room of that scope, literally dying, sobbing, literally screaming of how much pain you're in and how bad the fever is. Then they finally see you in the colonoscopy room and they record a fever of 41 degrees. The last thing you know is you're going to bed, you're going to sleep, they're putting you under, and they're saying it's probably Crohn's disease, but we need to make sure. Then you're waking up being told that you're being admitted for surgery. So you're in the hospital for about a week, have surgery, still super sick, extremely sick. When they do the surgery, they find an abscess in your butthole the size of a softball, okay? They drain it, then they pack your wound, they tell you that you're good to go, you're leaving that hospital the next day after surgery, and as you're leaving, you tell your mom, something's wrong, I'm not feeling good again. And you're literally crawling because you're in so much pain, your fever spikes again, so they call the ambulance because you're getting so sick to the point that like they don't know if you'll make it. So then you go back to the hospital, they record your white cell count again, and it's through the roof, it's literally at 17, so they admit you for surgery again, and that marks the beginning of an almost 6-month-long hospital stay of having 7 surgeries back to back. They put drains inside your butthole, they put ceton bands, they literally toss you around from general surgeon to colorectal surgeon to other colorectal surgeon until one day you say, I'm done with this bullshit, I don't know what to do anymore, and they say, well, you're pretty much dying, so we're gonna have to give you an ileostomy bag. So they give you the temporary ileostomy bag, you're still really sick, they put you on some Crohn's disease medications because that's what you were diagnosed with, and you actually react to those medications pretty poorly, and you have a lot of reactions and rashes and stuff, so nothing's really working for you until you finally find the medication that seems to be working for you called Humira and also Imuran, but unfortunately months pass and you're still having recurrent abscesses and fistulas and problems in that area, so you go back to the hospital and unfortunately they say to you, there's not much else we can do, we're gonna have to remove your rectum and your colon. So you go ahead with the surgery, you have it done. It's the most painful surgery of your life. In fact, 3 years later, 3 years later, the wound still hasn't closed. You're sitting on a pretty much open wound and you constantly have to go to the surgeons and doctors and do scans and stuff to keep on top of the healing, but you're better, you gained weight, your disease is in remission, and you're no longer sick or dying.